Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 2 of Candid and Uncut. We are recording today on Thursday, January 12th at
Yes, sir.
approximately 3:45 p.m. I am your
That's time to
host.
do it.
I am your host, Adam Petty, and I am here with one of my best friends, Roston or Roston. Go check him out on everything. RossFromunova. Roston, how
Thank
are
you.
you today?
Pretty good. I don't have work today. Classes got canceled because of the snow. Been home all day, cleaning, organizing, editing videos. It's been good.
That is a great combo.
Yeah, it's
No
been nice.
work plus no school, especially in college. They canceled classes.
Yeah,
You got a snow day today?
every single class. There was one class that hadn't canceled by like 8 a.m. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go in for the last class of the day. Literally 20 minutes later, he emailed us like class is canceled due to road conditions.
That is
Mm-hmm.
freaking awesome.
It's
Um,
pretty nice.
I have a couple things here, but I want you to start. If you have anything you would like to bring to the podcast,
Ooh.
before we start playing off of each other and just kind of talking candidly.
Yeah.
What do you have that you would like to bring up before I get into anything?
The first thing is I'd like to say that next week I will come prepared because I am not prepared right now.
That's okay.
Um, yeah, man, I had some stuff I was gonna talk about and I just can't remember it. I mean, the first thing was just like the class today getting canceled, um, and like the snow and everything. But I do have one thing to talk about actually. I remembered it just now.
Okay.
So, have you ever experienced like a traffic jam like going to school?
Living in the city, I've experienced a traffic jam going to work. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that
Or
on
like
like the
going
same.
anywhere?
Yeah, yeah.
So the two, there's one road in the entire town, and the first semester I went to class at like I want to say 11 was when I had to show up to class, so like not bad at all. Like I'm like gotta sleep in. This semester I have to be there at 8 every day, which still isn't bad, but so does every other person. And every morning from like 7:30 to 8:15, that road is completely congested and I live in the middle of it, and I have to turn like from like if you're going up, you have to turn left onto it, so you have to go through both lanes to get in. So it's nearly impossible to get in. So I have to turn right and go down to the end of the line to whip around into the back of the line. So I've been late to class like 3 days, like the past 2 weeks because of this. Tried leaving earlier because at first I left at like 8 because it's a 5 minute drive. And then the next day I was like, okay, I'll leave at 7:50. Still late. The next day I'm like, I'm leaving at 7:40, and I was still late. I have to leave at like 7:25 to make it to my 8 a.m. class.
Damn.
I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Yeah, that stinks. I can't stand going across traffic. It drives me nuts. What is this?
Yeah.
What is this doing? Get out of here. Sorry, something just popped up on my computer.
Oh, you're all
Really
good.
quick before we get any further, I have dad duty, so I'll be right back. I need to go tend to a crying baby. And I am back. Had to go take care of the needs of my daughter. She's getting grumpy. She's getting sleepy. Um, yeah, I can't stand going against traffic, especially having to
Yeah.
one look both ways constantly, make sure that if you're good on this side, the other side isn't going to slam into you and
Yeah.
kill you.
And the left hand side is a hill, so you can't see people coming. And the on like the road you're on is also a hill. So and I'm driving a truck right now because my car is in the shop, and the truck takes like forever just to like get going. Like if you come to a stop on the hill, you're screwed. Like you have to basically just like rolling stop and then go to like get it to go like normally. Um, top of that, I'm gonna be driving that truck for another like 6 months now
Holy cow.
because For those of you who don't know, I've been driving a Hyundai. I bought the car 6 months ago, I believe. Um, and recently it had like an engine problem. It went to the Hyundai dealer. Told us they were going to fix it, and then they told us they weren't going to fix it. And so we got a caseworker on it. They were trying to figure it out. And basically, what it's come down to is I have to pay either $6,000 for a new engine or buy a new car, like trade it in. So I'm
I'm
looking for a new car.
yeah, I was gonna say I think $6,000 will get you something decent.
Yeah, six
That's
thousand for the engine. I'm like, I don't know about that.
yeah, that's tough. You
Yeah,
hear about uh Priuses or even Teslas, and it's like to replace the
mhm,
battery, it's like 6,000 to like $10,000. I'm like,
yeah,
at that point, that car is just nothing anymore. Like
mm,
I'm not going to pay
yeah,
the price of a decent used car for just a part of a car.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was like, I'm just gonna look for a new car, which sucks because like now I have to start from square one. But at the same time, it's like this car's giving me so much trouble anyway. Like
And
I don't even know if I replace the engine, it's gonna happen again. Like,
you haven't even had that car for a year.
mm. They tried
That's
telling me that it was engine neglect. That's why they won't fix it because I neglected the engine. We have like reports showing that I got the oil change on time every time. Like we took all the maintenance care, but they're trying to say we didn't get the oil. Like we went way over on the oil change. I went over by 20 miles one time, and that's enough for them to say it's neglect.
see technically sure, but
Yeah,
everybody knows that's not the case. I
yeah,
shoot, everybody has gone like, a couple 100 miles over at some point, you know.
yeah. It's
So like
like
if they're gonna stretch 20 miles into something crazy, that's
it's like I saw like I needed an oil change, and so I was like, okay, I'll drive it. And then the mileage it took to get the oil change was what the neglect was basically. Because it's
that's
like that's
crazy.
nothing. It's like a drive from like our hometown to like Columbia. Like
Yeah, seriously, like it's
less than that. It's
yeah,
less than that.
yeah,
Isn't that like 30 miles? Like
yeah.
yeah, crazy.
So, one, I'm glad that you're okay despite all of
Thank you.
the car troubles and the traffic jams. I'm glad nothing has happened to your
Yeah,
well-being or your body. Um,
I'm
two,
good.
I know that that truck has also got some character on it, so I wish you the best with that truck for the next 6 months.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Three, how has your first 2 weeks of the year been? How have your goals been so far? I won't go too deep into the goal stuff because that was last week, but
Last
want
week.
to want to touch base.
It's been really good. I don't know if I had started last week or I don't believe I had started this already, but I've started 75 hard again. Um, for those of you who don't know, it's a program. Basically, you do two workouts a day. Both have to be 45 minutes. One inside, one outside. Or you could do both outside. I think it just one has to be outside. That's the thing.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to read 10 pages of a self improvement book every single day. You have to stick to a diet, no alcohol or cheat meals, and then drink a gallon of water. I don't think I missed anything there. But
Doesn't
basically, it's
sound
for
like it.
75 days. Um, and I have two other people doing it with me. So we have like an accountability group chat, which has been really cool. Um, and it's been a lot more motivational because the first time I tried it, I did get pretty far. And then some like weather issues kind of stopped me from doing the outside workout. But
The weather issues were that it was reading sub-zero temperatures and nobody should be working
yes,
out outside in like -3, -5 degrees.
that was what my executive decision was. But this time I'm
Understandable.
doing it with CPG. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, he's doing it with us, and it's been really cool just seeing him like send stuff throughout the day to the group chat, just kind of like motivational wise, and then I try to do the same for him. Other than that, I've been trying to like find like I've found more this year that what I want to do is just organize. Like a lot of the stuff I do is kind of unorganized. I do a lot of stuff, but this year I want to really organize stuff, and I've been trying to like hone in on that the last few weeks. So other than all the stressful stuff, it's been a good 2 weeks. How about you?
Awesome. Yeah, it's been good. Um, I it's pretty safe for me to say, and this means quite a bit to me that I'm different. I'm changing. I am no
Hmm.
longer who I was 2 weeks ago. Today, I'm better than I was yesterday. I
Hell yeah.
done a lot of reflecting these last 2 weeks, and not to get too serious, but I generally was not happy with who I was, or how I thought about myself, how I thought about life, um, how I went about uh, just everything. And
Hmm.
it is pretty safe to say that these last 2 weeks have been tremendous for me. I'm I'm good. Like, this is the first time
Awesome, man.
in a long time that I can say that I don't feel guilty about anything. I don't feel gross. Uh,
That's
and
awesome.
that's, disregarding physically.
Hmm.
Mentally, I'm good. I'm great.
That's good.
Actually, um I talked about my journal last time. Still doing that every day.
Hmm.
So 12 days straight now. I haven't
Heck
cursed. I haven't cursed for 4 days, which is crazy. And it's not even. I'm not even thinking about it at this point.
yeah. Hmm.
I know I'm talking about it, so it's on my mind. But I'm not
Yeah.
thinking with curse words anymore. I know I said damn earlier. I'm really just talking about the harsh, like, f bombs, uh, the bad poop word, stuff like that. If
Yeah.
my if my Bible thumping grandfather will say it, then I'm okay with it.
I feel like that's a pretty good reason. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been reading a book.
With
Go for
what
it.
was that? Sorry.
No, no, go for it.
I was just gonna say, so with the self-reflecting, like I know a lot of people probably want to do that, but some people might not know exactly how. What would you say like the most beneficial thing you've done to help self-reflect has been?
So I'll rewind a little bit. Yeah, okay. We'll go a little deeper into it. It just requires it. I have had this glooming this feeling over my head, this cloud, for the last couple years. Um, and I would say generally I have been not so nice to people. Not awful. I never really truly bullied anybody. I never really harmed anybody physically or anything like that. But I generally just I've treated some people poorly, and I feel like some people also think that I've taken them for granted. So I've had this feeling of I need to burn bridges. I need to make amends with people, and even let the people that I'm totally cool with know that, hey, I appreciate you. And so I've had this feeling for a while, and I think that I truly resolved that just within these last couple weeks. But something huge that helped me self reflect. I started reading a book. I felt broken. I felt not good. I did not feel good at all. I was I was deep. I was down deep. Didn't like it. I was never really hadn't really been positive about myself. Never really thought positively. The language I was using was negative. The way I was thinking was negative. How I just went about everything was just a total
Hmm.
downer to not myself, but also the people around me. My fiance, my friends, everybody. Even getting frustrated at my dog, and not about stuff like him throwing up, but stuff like just getting excited, which is in the same vein. I can't get mad at the dog for getting excited. He's a dog. He doesn't know better. He's happy. And so I just saw myself getting so negative, and it always started with my weight. and I'm a big guy. I'm overweight. Right now I weigh 280 pounds and I'm 6 feet tall. And that's not 280 pounds of just pure shredded. I'm not jocked. Um, but it always started with my weight. So I thought if I lose weight, then I'll get better. Thinking back on it, and this is a couple months ago, or even a year ago at this point,
Mhm.
I had melted through almost 50 pounds and didn't really even take time to notice it. I did lose some of the weight in an unhealthy manner, but I was able to maintain that weight off. Um, and I took a second and I was like, this isn't right. I thought that if I lost weight, then I'd be better. I am
Mhm.
no longer close to what I weighed at my heaviest. I live physically a better lifestyle. I eat better. I make, better choices physically, but I still don't feel great. And so I went out and I bought a book, which seems really cliche almost. You think, oh, I hit the end of the road. I need help. I need a self-help book.
Yeah.
And so I bought a self-help book. I've been through therapy. My parents did get divorced at this point 4 or 5 years ago. I have been through therapy and my experience was not all too great. And so
Mhm.
I figured that a book for me would be better. I like taking notes, I like learning from reading, and the book will be with me
Mhm.
forever. So just like how some people may interpret some research a certain way or even some religious texts a certain way, I can keep referring back to that book and interpreting it the way I need it to help my life. And so I bought a
Mhm.
book that helped me understand that it's not what I'm doing, it's how I'm doing it. And so that really helped me change my mental state and
Mhm.
I'm trying honestly, honest to God, trying not to cry right now cuz it's just nuts, but it
I'm proud of you, man, for
it
real.
completely changed me. It really did. I'm not the same person. And that's going to be tough. Um it's going to be tough for my friends uh because it's not after 20 something years of being the same person, I'm all of a sudden a different
Yeah.
person. Nobody's going to believe that, but they'll believe it when they see it, and I believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the same. I'm not the same person.
And I think a lot of that comes with like somebody decides not to hang out with you or not to speak with you because you've changed for the better. Like that's not somebody you need in your life. Like you have a family now. That should be your number one priority, and it obviously is. Like like I'm really proud of you, man. Like you've taken
Thank you.
like a step back and looked at yourself and not only been providing for your family, but also making yourself a better person to be better suited to provide for your family. So it's really inspiring to see, honestly. And like I'm not gonna lie, I really look up to you, like as a like an older brother almost, because like that's one of my biggest things is I want to have a family one day. Like it's like one of my deepest desires. Like if I could have a kid right now, I would. Like financially, I can't. Like I would be, I'd be
Hey,
screwed if I had a
hey,
kid right now.
if it makes you feel any better, somehow you make it work.
but uh, but for real, it's inspiring to see that not only can you be the best dad you can be, but sit back and reflect and spend time on yourself and better yourself. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, and the fact that you can even make time for it is insane.
And I genuinely, it's not even talking about it now. I going through the process, it's almost like hypnotism. They say you have to have an open mind to hypnotism in order to get
Mhm.
hypnotized. And
Yeah,
I kind of went into this with that same self-awareness where I'm like I have to make myself malleable and vulnerable
yeah,
to myself in order for it to work. And I thought at first my state of mind at the time, I thought I'm I'm just diving in and I'm just reading a book. I'm not going to take
yeah.
anything from it. But that's not the case. Even talking about it now, I just don't feel myself slipping the way I had anticipated.
Yeah.
There's no lapse in thought. I have gone the whole, all of calendar year 2023 so far with this mindset, and it has
Hmm.
really made me feel better. The shirt I'm wearing today, for you guys can't see it, but it has Limu Emu from Liberty Insurance on it. Um, I did not like this shirt. Shelby, my fiance, went out of her way to act like she was an insurance agent and emailed Liberty Insurance to get promo stuff. And so I have a pair of socks in this pullover. She went out of her way, and I feel awful thinking back on it. But I tried the shirt on, and the first thing I said was I look terrible in this, and she got sad. And I just replaying it, I just didn't feel bad because I was too focused on how I looked and how I felt in it, which was not right. I didn't say
Yeah.
thank you. I said thank you for the socks. The socks fit fine. I love the socks, but um, I would have never put this shirt has legitimately sat in my closet for over a year now, and I today is the first day I've worn it, and it has nothing to do. I truly at this point it is you make the clothes. The clothes don't make you. No matter what your
Hmm.
shape, size, style, preference, favorite color is,
Hmm.
it. I just don't know how to explain it without sounding what people would say is cringy, because it's not cringy, it's me. And if you have a problem
Yeah.
with that genuinely, then um there's changes that need to be made. um
Yeah.
but I would say
And it
that
is a fire shirt. I have to
oh
say
dude,
that. It,
Limu is
like that's
crazy.
sick.
Yeah, Limu is awesome. But to sum it up, the first the first step I would take to reflect and and address what needs to be changed is
Hmm.
specifically look at how you think, how the language you use,
Hmm.
the actions you take, the decisions you have. Obviously you don't get overweight by uh, not overeating. Uh, too many calories is too many calories. And so even the thoughts, I've been eating good. I haven't even thought about getting a second plate or gorging myself, which is crazy. It really is. And it's so weird that I can be comfortably self-aware about it too, that
Yeah.
I know that these changes are being made. And I know that while there is an effort being made as well, it it is natural at this point. And I'm not saying it's going to be that way for everybody, but it was a serious click in my head. I took stock, and that's something that came out of the book. I took
Hmm.
stock of my habits, how I think habitually, what I do out of habit, how I talk out of habit. And I looked at it and I thought that if I was hanging out with the person I had just described, I
Hmm.
would get uncomfortable and anxious. I would not enjoy hanging out with that person. And
Hmm.
yeah, another key point was, podcasts. I mentioned the American Glutton podcast last episode, and this
Yeah.
book, it's called Badass Habits. They talk about they talk about becoming who you want to be right now in your head.
Hmm.
And that's something you always hear. You always hear manifesting, it's but for some reason just the book really put it into perspective for me. It's method acting, who you want to be, but all the time you are becoming a new person. You have to change your identity, or nothing's going to change.
Hmm.
And I really took that to heart, and I'm really, quite frankly, proud of myself. I'm happy for myself, and I appreciate all the nice words from you, Roston.
That's
But
awesome, man.
yeah, but I say that's as much as I'm gonna talk about this. But we've been talking about this for like 15 minutes
Hey,
now. So
and
no,
with that kind of like you were saying earlier about like the magician, not the magician, the what's it called? Uh
like
Hypnotizing. When like to get hypnotized, you have to kind of like truly believe you're going to be
yeah,
to because if you go in being like I'm not going to be hypnotized, you're not going to. Like it's not going to work.
yeah,
Um it's kind of the same with like kind of tying it into like what I do for a living with like supplements. Like supplements are the exact same way. Um, because somebody could come in and be like, I want a fat burner and a protein to lose weight. And let's say I get them the stuff, I write down what they how they need to take it, when they need to take it, and they could take it, but then the rest of their day, they don't work out, they eat like crap, they don't follow a diet, they don't get enough protein in. Like they take the protein powders saying they're getting their protein, but realistically, the rest of their day they're getting an extra maybe 15 grams. So like they're not getting enough. It's a tool. So you have to do everything else right with it. And that's the same with like the book. Um, you read it and like you ingest that knowledge, but you have to truly put it into practice
exactly,
and
exactly,
do everything else right. And
exactly.
it's crazy how many things in this world really tie into that because so many people do little things and they're like, well, I should have this because I did this. It's like, yes, you did that, and that's a great tool to get to where you want to go, but you're not doing A, but you're not doing B, C, D, E, like all that. And I think like that's something that a lot of people can put into practice just with like the supplements, the book, everything really. You just kind of like you got to do everything right. You can't do one little thing and expect the world.
Yeah, you can buy the wood, the nails, and the hammer, but unless you use them, you can't build a house. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, that you put that into great words. Yeah. Anywho, moving on from all the serious stuff, I don't have a
Mhm.
problem talking about it, but we're not necessarily a a self help podcast, so
Yeah.
I have a few things written down here. I'll let you pick one, two, or three. I only have three things written out. I figured we would go off on tangents like we just did throughout the
Yeah.
entire episode.
I'd say let's go with three.
Three? Okay. So I watched John Wick for the first time yesterday.
Okay.
Have you seen John Wick?
Nope. Not
That
a
movie
single one.
that movie's crazy. That movie's
Is
awesome.
it good?
Yeah. I'm not a big action guy. Actually, I can't name 5 action movies that I've seen.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's because Keanu Reeves plays Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk or what drew me in. I
Hmm.
also think about my dad telling me about John Wick I don't know, years ago, and I was just like, "Ah, yeah, cool, whatever, action movie." I gave it a chance
Yeah.
because I've been I just trying to just do more of what I truly want to do, and I was like, I feel like
Yeah.
I want to watch more movies. I'm kind of behind on movies. I watch a lot of YouTube, and so I was like,
Yeah.
I'll watch some movies. And so I watched John Wick. It's pretty freaking good. It feels um a little low budget, but I don't think it has a low budget. I
Mm.
think it was a like a, a I don't know what to say, like a big produced movie. Not I'm not talking like
Mm.
Avengers or Avatar level budget, but
Yeah.
it had like a couple tens of millions. I think like a $40 million budget or something.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's almost like an action movie. My fiance said this, and I agree with her. It's an action movie that just doesn't deal with the BS. Like you get the action. There's no,
Oh,
chop
okay.
chop 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 chop. There are some. You can tell John Wick has plot armor, and they're making the fourth one right now,
Oh
so
man.
it's no spoiler that he doesn't
Yeah.
die. Um, but you can tell his plot armor is crazy. But other than that, if there's a character that you want to die and you're like, why don't they just kill him? They die. Like they take care of that eventually. So
Fair
uh
enough.
yeah. I need to watch the second and third one now. But John I didn't realize that movie came out when I was like 13 or 14.
Huh. So it's like pretty. I didn't realize it was like that old.
Yeah, it's pretty old. Yeah.
I guess
So
that makes sense if it's coming out the fourth one already. But
yeah, I gave it a chance and I liked it. So John, if you haven't seen John Wick at this point, go watch it. In my opinion, I think it was an easy watch too, and it had a little
okay.
bit of charm, just a little bit of humor. Really easy watch. Okay,
The first time I ever heard of John Wick was actually. This sounds horrible.
Fortnite.
It was Fortnite. I had never even heard of the movie until Fortnite, and then one of my buddies was always telling me to watch it, but I never got around to it. But now that I know that the fourth one's coming out and you enjoyed it, maybe I'll watch all three and we can go see it together or something.
There you
And
go. Yeah,
I can
yeah,
come visit you up there and go watch it.
yeah. Um. Okay, that was 3. So pick between 1 and 2 now.
I'm gonna go crazy with it. I'm gonna go one.
1. Okay.
Yeah.
Really quick. I don't want to get too into it. I just don't feel like talking sports right now. But what's your Super Bowl prediction? We have to, right? It's NFL playoffs.
Who are in the playoffs?
The Chargers, the Jaguars, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Chiefs on the AFC side. I'll let you pick that side first before we go through the NFC side.
I'm saying I want it to be Bills.
Bills? I think that's pretty
After
universal.
after what happened, I think it'd be kind of it'd be a cool story to see them go.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think Bills is pretty universal other than and I live in the Kansas City area. My
Yeah, nah,
we may not have an episode next week because I just said that, but it's cool. Okay, so you got
fair
Bills,
enough.
and then on the NFC side, it's Cowboys, Buccaneers, Giants, Vikings, Seahawks, 49ers, and Eagles.
I will say I'm saying 49ers because of Christian McCaffrey. That guy's a monster.
He is a monster.
I watched him play for the first time. Like I don't watch football a lot. I watched him play the other week, and he's insane.
Yeah, there were some rumors whenever it was thought that he would get traded or whatever, that the Rams would get him, and they did not. And I am sad, but I'm glad that he's playing on a good team. Okay, so you
Yeah.
got Bills and 49ers. Which one?
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think is winning? The Bills? And just to make it easy, that is legitimately my guess as well.
Oh,
I think,
really?
yeah, if the Bills don't make it, then it's the Chiefs. It's going to be the
Chiefs
Chiefs.
Niners.
Yeah,
If it's Chiefs Niners, I want the Niners to win for sure. If it's Bills Niners, I want the Bills to win just because of the story there.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So that's that. That's neither of our teams. Roston's a Raiders fan. I'm a Rams fan. So the playoffs
It's
are
a
just
tough world out here.
and
Hey, it's our year next year.
while Derek Carr is playing for the Buccaneers or whatever, whoever he plays
Yeah.
for. Hey, rumor is that Tom Brady could be a Raider. Just a small
That
rumor to
would be
get
insane.
just a small rumor to get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the end of my small list here. I didn't really prepare a whole lot either. I was kind of in a I just couldn't think of anything creative to write, honestly.
That's fair.
However, the age-old question is, if someone gave you $1 million, would you do blank? And almost all the time, the answer is yes. Doesn't matter what it is. We won't go into specifics.
Okay.
What would you do for someone if they offered you $5? No one asks what. It's never, oh, would you chop wood for $5? or no one asks $5. No one asks an easy amount of money to
Yeah.
gain. They always ask life-changing amounts of money. So for me, when I was writing this, I was thinking I would probably wash someone's car for $5. I
Okay.
would probably do their dishes for $5. I would even go I would even go get their oil changed. I would drive to get their oil changed for $5. So
Okay.
I'm not paying for the oil.
Yeah.
But what would you do for $5?
I got a few answers here.
Okay.
Let's say you're at the beach. Some old man walks up to you. He's like, "Hey, can you put this lotion on my back?" I'll do it for $5.
Yeah, I think that's
I'd give
reasonable.
someone a ride to the gas station. It's not too bad. Um, I'd take someone's dog for a walk. I mean, I do that for free, but like, I'd do it for $5.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Yeah, I would do that for sure. I would do somebody's laundry for $5. I would help somebody hang pictures up on their wall for $5. Uh they're honestly probably a lot more that I would do for I guess a lot more normal things I would do for $5 than $1 million. If someone offered me a million
Yes.
dollars to wash their car, there's got to be a catch. There's always got to be a
Yeah.
catch.
And I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that I enjoy doing that I think I do for $5. Like if they're offering, like I'm not gonna like force someone to pay me $5 to take their dog for a walk, but like there's a lot of little things I like to do. Like even like cleaning sometimes I enjoy doing that. Like this morning I cleaned like my entire living room and kitchen just because I had time.
Yeah.
I do that for $5.
Yeah.
If my mom hears this, she's gonna text me and be like, Venmo me and be like, come home. I'm like, man, you're gonna catch me slipping.
My fiance's mom uh she knows that I like doing the dishes, and so she always asks what my asking rate is to do her
Mm.
dishes. And my answer is always, well, I was housekeeping and my hourly rate was $15 an hour, so I guess that. And she's like, "Ooh, we can't negotiate?" Well, I don't know. I am a paid professional at cleaning, so
Hey, hopefully she doesn't listen to this.
I don't even know if she knows this is going on.
Maybe. You never know. There might be. Wonder if. No, I'm not gonna say his name. I was gonna say there's a friend of ours that we used to work with. I wonder if he listens.
Maybe,
Sports.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
said that so you knew what
probably.
I was talking about.
Yeah, probably. Or
It,
maybe. I don't know.
if he is, what's up?
You the goat?
Now he's gonna text and be like, "Who are you talking about?"
I think that alone he already knows.
Yeah. All love, all love.
I I didn't prepare a whole lot for this. That is definitely my fault. I
No, you're. I think we've had a really good conversation today.
I think so too. And honestly, I could go way into the serious life-changing stuff. So if you have any more questions, you can ask, but for those listening, just know if you don't want to hear any self-help anything, then now is the time to go listen to a different podcast.
I
Go
mean, I
watch.
guess we could talk about. Um, I think it's beneficial to talk about fitness journeys, just because like that's something that a lot of people go through and never know how to start because everybody's is different. So I think if we both kind of give our side of our fitness story, it could help a lot of people maybe.
Yeah. Um I feel like I'm going to confidently say that both of us would say that it starts in the kitchen. No matter
Yeah.
no matter what workout regimen you have, whether you're going on a 30, 45 hour long walk, whether you're going to the gym and pumping iron 5 days a week, 6 days a week, with your rest day being cardio. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're long distance. If you seriously do squats in your living room, it starts in the kitchen. If you don't eat right,
Yeah.
you won't see anything. And while you can, yes, if you stay within a reasonable surplus or a reasonable deficit, while you can manage that off of, say, you eat your maintenance calories are 2,500 and you eat 2,000 calories worth of Oreos. While you are in a deficit, you are eating 2,000 calories of Oreos, and that is not very nutritious. So you're going to, one, feel like crud. Two, you're going to be hungry. You're
And
going to
it's empty
starve.
calories.
Yeah. So I
And at
think,
that point, like there's no protein, so you're not gaining any muscle at that point. If you're losing anything, like you're losing muscle
yeah.
because I mean, so I sell, I like work at a supplement shop, and one of the biggest things is like getting protein in. You need protein every 4 to 6 hours, or your body's burning muscle. So like a lot of people will eat such low protein diets because they think they're cutting, but really you're just cutting muscle. Um, when I first started lifting, I was like, I got called scrawny by a certain somebody that was important to me at the time. That really affected me. I know it's something little, but it made me hit the gym. And at first, I wanted to gain weight, but then I was like really self conscious because I had gained a lot of like body fat percentage. So I was like, you know what? This year, my senior year, I was like, I'm cutting. I'm gonna like get a six pack. Like all the cliche things that a high schooler that lifts does.
Yeah.
And I was eating during the school year. I was eating 1,800 calories a day, which my metabolism at the time was 2,200 calories. So that's already 400 below. Plus, I'm working out. I was working out at the time 2 hours every night. And then on my rest days, which were Saturday and Sunday, I would go to the gym still and hit a lift that I felt like I needed to get better at. So I was lifting every single day of the week. I was burning way more than I was getting in. But at the same time, I was only getting maybe 150 grams of protein a day. So while I was losing weight and I was losing some body fat, I was not maintaining any of that muscle. And I did that for a year. For a whole year, almost every lift was meaningless because I didn't understand diet and nutrition. So I think while it is important, yes, to get into that gym. So I know a lot of people are probably doing like New Year's, like trying to get in to the gym, New Year, new me. Um, yes, it is important to do that, but also conscious eating. Know what you're eating, know what you're putting in your body. Food is fuel, use it as such.
Calories are quite literally energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and starting at the opposite end of the spectrum, being on the heavier side, wanting to go down. One, like I already said, it starts in the kitchen. If
Mm-hmm.
you aren't eating correctly, nothing is going to happen. And something that helped me when I was really hitting the gym, 5 days a week, right before my daughter was born. Um, I plugged in all of my information into just like a free online calorie calculator, or like
Mm-hmm.
just like a macro calculator. And the one I used, I can't remember it off the top of my head. And to be honest, I'm not gonna look it up right now, but
Yeah.
it gave me options for high fat, low carb. So like a keto diet, it gave me all the macros for
Mm-hmm.
that. It gave me all the macros for a high protein diet, which is what I ended up doing. Which I think for
Mm-hmm.
me, for wanting to lose weight, it was like um a point 0.8 of
Mm-hmm.
your body weight or something like that. And then if you want to gain, it's like
Yeah,
1.2 or something like that, or
that sounds right.
like a 1-to-1 ratio or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So just find a calorie calculator and just make that part easy. Another thing that also helped me a lot with meal prepping, because while you can cook your food every single night and make that part of your routine, if you're eating it for the purpose of making some sort of fitness goal progress, it gets exhausting cooking chicken, rice,
Yeah.
and broccoli every single night. And so I would seriously, if I wanted to mix it up, I would write my menu out. And so I would make two dishes with fish and potatoes and still rice, or I would make one or make like three with carrots instead of broccoli, or with steamed spinach instead of broccoli, or potatoes instead of rice, or anything like that. Um, and then just look for food that is going to satisfy you, especially
Yeah.
being somebody who has had that habit of constantly stuffing their face until they feel awful and then still eating beyond that. It is no fun because all you're doing is eating entire bags of Funyuns, or entire sleeves or two sleeves of Chips Ahoy at a time, or you're
Hmm.
drinking 3 glasses of chocolate milk with your big bowl of pasta. That's it's not going to do anything. You only want more. And so, you know, you drink something fun. I feel like that helped me a lot. There's
Hmm.
good options for everything. I did keto, and there was this milk that it was like chocolate chip cookie dough milk, and it was like keto oat milk, which was totally
Hmm.
fine. It tasted great. I didn't need chocolate milk. I didn't need anything. Sparkling water, to me, I love sparkling water. It's a great option for wanting to mix it up with normal water.
Yeah.
Um, because for me, I drink a ton of water. Have always drank a ton of water, no matter what. And so I found sparkling water was a good way to break that up, without going as sweet or as sugary as soda. But you can also
Yeah.
find zero sugar sodas, and granted those do use artificial sweeteners, but zero sugar, 0 calorie sodas, which are
Yeah.
fine. Um, just make it
And
easy. Make it easy for yourself.
mhm.
Make it planned. Be deliberate.
Yeah.
Another thing that I found myself having a terrible habit of is I would go to the store with a list, and then I would only think with
Hmm.
my stomach. So eat
Yep.
just a small snack. Eat a small snack, or even eat dinner before you go to the grocery store, because you're only going to make poor decisions if you shop hungry. That's almost
Yeah.
number one rule is don't shop hungry, because you're just going to end up buying Lunchables, frozen chicken nuggets that you eat maybe
Yep.
twice and then you end up throwing away. Or you eat a plate of those chicken nuggets, realize they're disgusting, and then you feel gross, and then you're like, oh, I need to really lock in. And then you go to the gym, and then you find yourself once again shopping without a plan, and only looking at the shelves with your stomach, and so you're just repeating the cycle. And nobody's
Yeah.
perfect. We've all done it. Obviously, I'm 280 something pounds. However, I did start from 320 something pounds. So I
Come a
feel
long
like
way for
I feel
real.
I feel like that I don't want to be right, but I feel like that has some weight to it. I'm not going to say I'm entirely accurate, and everybody's
Yeah.
individual, but that is something that helped me personally, was making sure I had a plan, and just sticking to it.
Yeah. And I found like one of the most important things, honestly, with diet is like, first of all, you need to have a diet that you can sustain, a sustainable diet, because you can eat chicken, plain chicken, white rice, and broccoli every single day, but eventually it's going to get to a point where it's not sustainable anymore because you're like, I need something
You're
good.
going to get
And that's going to
totally
lead to
sick of
more
it.
cheat meals. You're going to get sick of it. You're going to hate your food. You're not going to be happy because you're not eating good food. Um, so I think the biggest thing that's helped me is look for alternatives to foods you really like. Used to love eating peanut butter sandwiches, and just a simple switch from regular bread to wheat bread. That's helped. I do PB2 now instead of peanut butter. It's just peanut butter powder with more protein and less fat. It's literally just a powder you get and you mix water into it, and it tastes just like peanut butter. And you throw like 2 tablespoons in. It's only 60 calories for it could like one of those can make like two or three peanut butter sandwiches, and it's only 60 calories of peanut butter. So what I do is I do that on rice cakes. Cakes have been a huge help just for like a quick carb, um, just because they're quick and easy. They come in like tomato basil flavor. So if you want something to put like some avocado on, they also come in chocolate flavors if you
and,
have a sweet tooth.
and like white
They got
cheddar and
they got
caramel and
yeah,
green
exactly.
apple
So
cinnamon. You know,
it's great for if you're like craving chips. Get the cheddar flavor. It's like a thicker chip almost, and it's like it tastes like a cheddar chip. And just looking for alternatives, like even I know a lot of people don't like the taste of protein bars per se, but there are better options out there, like level one bars per se. They taste just like a candy bar. Like not all protein bars have that like taste, if you know what I'm talking about. But like level one
yeah,
bars truly taste like a Snickers bar,
the pure
and that's
protein
200 calories.
the pure protein double chocolate or like chocolate deluxe, whatever they call it,
Hmm.
protein bars are seriously like candy. It I
Hmm.
if I didn't have the willpower, I would eat an entire box of 6 and eat
Yeah,
1200 calories worth of pure protein bars. And I think those are
and
like
those are
20.
super easy.
Yeah, and those are like 20 grams of protein. And even if you are craving a chocolate bar, it, honestly, it's probably not going to hurt you so much to just pick up a protein bar and eat it. If that's
Yeah,
like your third one, then maybe try to find something different. But
that's where it can go wrong. Yeah, if you're eating like 6 protein bars a day, it's like yeah, you're hitting your protein, man, but you're eating 1,200 calories of protein bars.
and you're pooping
Um,
bricks.
yeah, I think it's oh yeah one bars. They have a maple glazed donut flavor that it is so good. Like I get it at work, and at work it's only $2. But if you go to a gas station in our hometown, they have them, but they're $3.50 for one. And after tax, it came out to like $14 for three of them. Like
Dang.
yikes! So don't be discouraged if you go to a gas station and you're like, oh, this is the most expensive thing ever. I promise there are other establishments that sell them for much cheaper. Because, like Subway Superstore, for example, if you have one near you, I know there's a bunch around my area. I know there's some in your area too. If you guys are around some, you
Yeah.
can find great alternatives in there. And if you go in, I'm just kind of plugging this, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, we do free meal plans, free workout plans. We have an in-body test actually that'll show you your body fat percentage, your lean muscle mass, which is your lean muscle mass actually tells you how much protein you need. It's just a great
Yeah.
tool, and you can go in completely free and get as much help as you need. So, if you guys are on a fitness journey and want to come into any location, it could be really beneficial.
Yeah. Another thing that also helped me out a lot was figuring out snacks. Um, I'm even now, even still after I talked about all these changes, I like a good snack. I try not to overeat. I try not to gorge myself, but feeling feeling that little bit of like, yeah, I could probably snack on a little something something. Figure out snacks.
Yeah,
Pickles. I love pickles.
they're
Pickles are
so good.
a go-to. Turkey sticks, or even I prefer turkey sticks, but even like beef sticks. Um, Even though that is processed, it's still like a decent little snack. Uh,
You can even do deli meat just rolled up.
Deli
That's
meat, yeah,
quick protein.
yeah, exactly. Cheese. I love little Baby Bell cheeses or even Sargento cheese sticks. Those are really good.
Mm, Baby
Um,
Bell is so good.
Baby Bell is really good. Uh,
Oh man,
Dude, knock out fiber and snack all in one. You could just hit a bell pepper really quick. Just eat a bell pepper, and it it really it makes it so much easier finding food that fits in with your eating habits. You can change your eating habits, but you can also make changing those better, and or you could even make
hmm
your habits turn into the better choices. Oh, instead of eating Doritos, I'll buy a bag of the Quaker, cheddar rice chips, because those things are
mm-hmm.
delicious. And again, I I could eat an entire bag of those. Oh, another thing.
Yeah.
Also, I bought just like a cheap little $10, maybe $8 food scale from Walmart. It was
Yes, I
awesome.
have one.
Yeah.
It,
It
it makes what like food proportions so easy because like I have to get 7 ounces of chicken for twice a day or beef, either one, just like
yeah.
a protein source, and I just throw it on in a Tupperware in there and measure it out real fast. Throw it in Tupperware, put it in the fridge, and then I have meals for week
Yep.
already planned out that I just have to grab, and they're already weighed. I don't have to do anything. And meal prepping, honestly, it can take no time at all. Like chicken, I throw it in the slow cooker. I don't even have to touch it until I get home, and then I just weigh it out. Maybe takes 15 minutes, and then
y-
rice takes 5 minutes to get done.
Yeah.
Same with like broccoli, stuff like that. It Meal prepping can be really easy. It's just kind of finding that rhythm of knowing how to do it efficiently, and it's just super effective. I feel like.
Yeah. And it's something I like doing. I like cooking my chicken. Whether it's I'm making chicken or ground turkey or ground beef or fish,
Mm,
I like cooking all that on the stovetop. So
yep.
chicken especially, you have to make sure it's cooked. So throw
Yeah.
prepare your chicken, throw it on the stove, and just start grinding it out. Just don't meander. Don't look at your phone. You can what I do, put a YouTube video on just as some noise or distraction or a podcast or
I do
something.
that.
Set your scale down, get your bag of, we'll say rice chips, get your bag of, little Quaker cheddar rice chips, and, set your baggie down, uh, and just measure out what the serving size is supposed to be. Probably, I don't know, something like 28 grams or like 2 ounces or something, but, or it
Yeah.
might be like 12 crisps or something. Just make sure you're,
That makes it even easier.
yeah, because then you can just pluck it out. You don't even need the scale. You just pluck it out and throw it in the
Yeah.
bag. That helped me a lot, and it still helps me even. Or even buy stuff that comes individually packaged. Something I eat is Kodiak makes these chocolate graham crackers, and I buy the boxes of just the individual. It's like
Mhm.
6 packs, just individual little graham crackers. And so all you have to do is just look at the nutrition label, and then you pull a bag out, and that's it. That's it. Or Baby Bells. It's literally just a single packed cheese. It's just make it easy. That it can get way too complicated if you make
Yeah.
it too complicated. It can
Yeah.
easily
It's
consume
just
you, but just try to make
it's
it
as
chill.
complicated as you make it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Like Kodiak, like you were saying, I don't, not to like just throw a bunch of products at everybody, but like
right, right.
Kodiak is so good, man. They make protein oatmeal, protein pancakes, like
I'm
so
actually
many different healthy alternatives that
the
like I was saying about alternatives, it's super easy.
Yeah, and I'm a big sweets guy. I love chocolate, and so the fact that I can get
Hmm.
that chocolate protein graham cracker, or I have had the chocolate protein pancake mix, that's pretty good. And you
Yeah.
just buy some low sugar syrup, which it does. You can taste, if you like syrup, you can taste that it is a little different, but it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, and I'm sure it's something that you could get over if it's something that really matters to you. So I think
Eventually,
go for it.
eventually with the low sugar like syrup and stuff, if you eat it every day, eventually that's going to become the normal to you, and you're going to think that like you're going to feel like that's what sugar or what syrup tastes like. Like it's not. It might be a little bit of a curve at first if you've been eating something like that for so long, but eventually these alternatives are going to become the normal to you, and then you're just not even thinking about it. Going to start living even healthier. So it can be scary at first, but trust the process. Like trust it and just kind of go with what's right. You know.
And that's actually a great segue to something I want to touch on. Something that I heard in a podcast that I listened to is and I'm guilty of this. I think everybody is having I don't know what to call it, result based goals instead of process based goals, and
Mm,
that so far with all the changes I've made has helped me a lot. Is quite literally trusting the process. It's about the consistency and the
mm,
effort each time you do it, rather than what what you get out of it ultimately. Because I can sit here and want to be uh 225 pounds
mm.
all I want, but if I'm not consistently going on a 30-minute walk, or I'm not consistently, you know, playing with my dog, bouncing or jumping around, if I'm not consistently standing up, you know, just all the little things.
Yeah,
If I'm not making my day to day better, the result won't get there. And so you just have to stick to a plan and just rock with it. And
for sure.
no, nobody's perfect. We've all failed things. Roston earlier said that this is his second time, you know, doing 75 hard.
Yeah.
Which could he have worked out outside? Yes,
Yes.
but it was also like negative something degrees. So that's something that he was willing to sacrifice, and I'm sure he got a workout done indoors or ran around somewhere, or you know, and don't feel like that if you've made 3 steps forward, taking 1 step back is bad. Um, I perfect example, when I had my daughter, I weighed 270. I ended up gaining like 20 pounds just from being at home. And now I've lost like 15 of that, or like 12 of that. So, like, even though I was at 270, I have to remind myself that I was at 320 just a year prior to that, or a year and a half
Exactly.
prior to that. So
Exactly.
you just have to remember that you just need to pick it back up and just keep moving forward. And I I don't know how much weight that carries with me saying it, but I'm hoping that if you know who I am, that it hits, it carries it. I mean it,
Yeah.
you know. All right. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
I I think I've said my part for today. I feel like we've thrown a lot at everybody. I do feel
For
like this has
sure.
been a really good conversation, though, and I appreciate you being so open and honest and vulnerable. It takes a lot to even do what you've done, but it takes even more to be open about it. Um, and I'm just proud of you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know, it's while it has been nice, it hasn't been necessarily easy. It's never easy,
Yeah,
but it's not hard because I want to do it, and I'm I'm passionate about it.
yeah.
It's just got to get done. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you all for coming back to Canada and Uncut. Um,
Thank you, guys.
and we can't wait to make more for you.
I'm excited.
Awesome. We'll talk to you all next week.
See ya.